I bet you haven't heard about Samar Island. It is known for its pristine beaches and dive spots, but did you know that it is also home to some of the most beautiful mountains in the Philippines? In fact, there are over 250 peaks found all over the island, just waiting to be conquered by adventure-hungry explorers like you and me. This got me super excited because I love exploring new hiking trails and challenging myself with different terrains. So when my friend invited me to join him on a camping trip to the mountains of Samar last March, I didn't think twice before saying yes. He told me that we were going to hike Mount Labo, which was said to be one of the best hikes in the country due to its lush green forests filled with pine trees and mossy rocks. The summit would also reward us with a sea of clouds and an amazing view of the mountains around it. So I was really looking forward to this trip. Our goal was to reach the summit in time for the sunrise, so we had to wake up bright and early at 3 a.m. After packing our things, we left Manila and drove straight to the port where we took a ferry going to Samar. The crossing took around 8 hours, so we used the time to relax and enjoy the fresh air. Once we arrived at our destination, we immediately went to the registration area to get our things checked. Then we met up with our guide, who briefed us about the hike and gave us some tips on how to get to the summit safely. We started our journey by riding a motorcycle to the jump-off point. The road was rough and bumpy, but the stunning scenery made up for it. We passed by tall trees and bushes on both sides of the road until we reached our destination. We then began our 4-hour hike, which involved trekking through a forest trail and crossing a river several times. The first part of the trail was quite steep, but the sight of the majestic mountains in front of us kept us going. My legs were already aching, but I knew that if I stopped, they would only hurt more the next day. So I just kept moving forward. As we continued our journey, the terrain became more difficult. We had to cross rocks and roots that were covered in moss and mud. There were also some parts where we needed to use our hands to help us balance, but even though the trail was tough, it was still beautiful. We passed by old trees and mossy rocks that were covered in green moss. Some of the trees even had roots that looked like they were made out of metal. These were so cool to see since I had never seen anything like them before. Even though the trail was tough, we took lots of breaks to rest and take in the beauty of the mountains around us. We also stopped by some clear streams and rivers along the way to take a dip and cool off from the heat. The water was freezing cold, but it felt so refreshing on our skin. At one point, we even saw a giant spider monkey hanging from a tree. It was so amazing to see such a rare animal in its natural habitat, and it made all the hard work worth it. There were also some parts of the trail where we had to walk on a narrow ledge. This was probably the scariest part of the hike for me because I'm afraid of heights, but I was able to get through it safely thanks to the rope that was attached to the ledge. As we continued our journey, we saw more beautiful sights like the giant trees and the mossy rocks. After about 4 hours of walking, we finally reached the campsite. We set up camp and then started a fire so we could cook some food. We had brought a lot of supplies with us, including a tent, sleeping bags, and mats. But we had to be careful with how we used them because there were a lot of monkeys in the area and they were known for being very mischievous. So we had to make sure that we stored our things properly so the monkeys couldn't get to them. While we were setting up camp, we saw a group of monkeys playing around. They were so cute to watch as they swung from tree to tree. We tried to get closer to them, but they quickly ran away. We were a bit disappointed that we couldn't get a better look at the monkeys, but we knew that it was important to respect their space and not disturb them in their natural habitat. After setting up camp, we cooked some food and then ate dinner together. We talked about our experiences on the trail and shared stories while we enjoyed the warmth of the fire. It was amazing to be surrounded by nature and feel like we were truly in the middle of nowhere. The sound of the crickets and the rustling of the leaves provided a peaceful and relaxing atmosphere. After dinner, we played some card games and then went to bed. We snuggled into our sleeping bags and looked up at the stars. The sky was so clear and the stars were shining brightly. It was amazing to be away from the city lights and see so many stars in the night sky. We talked about our hopes and dreams for the future and then drifted off to sleep. The next morning, we woke up early to catch the sunrise. We quickly made breakfast and then started hiking towards the summit. The trail to the summit was steep and rocky, but the view was absolutely worth it. As we neared the summit, we could already see the sea of clouds covering the mountains below us. When we finally reached the summit, we were greeted with an amazing view of the sunrise over the clouds. It was so beautiful to see the sky turn from dark to light and watch the clouds change colors as the sun rose higher in the sky. We stood on the summit and took in the beauty of the view for a while. We felt like we were on top of the world and had a sense of accomplishment knowing that we had reached the highest point in the area. After taking in the view, we started our descent. The hike down was just as challenging as the hike up, but we were excited to get back to camp and relax. Once we got back to camp, we packed up our things and started our hike back to the jump-off point. We arrived back at the jump-off point feeling exhausted but satisfied. We had successfully hiked one of the most beautiful mountains in the Philippines and had experienced a true escape into nature. As we made our way back to civilization, we couldn't help but reminisce about our amazing experience. We had encountered beautiful scenery, amazing wildlife, and a sense of accomplishment that came with reaching the summit. We knew that this was an experience that we would never forget, and it would be a memory that would last a lifetime. If you're looking for an adventure that will take you away from the hustle and bustle of city life, then I highly recommend hiking Mount Labo. Just make sure to come prepared with the right gear and a good guide. It's an experience that you won't regret. Our next stop was Sohoton Cove, which is located in the town of General Luna. It's known for its white sand beaches and crystal-clear waters. We spent the day swimming, snorkeling, and sunbathing. It was so relaxing to feel the warm sun on our skin and the cool water on our bodies. We saw lots of colorful fish and coral reefs while we were snorkeling, and it was amazing to see the beauty of the underwater world. After spending the day at the cove, we went back to Manila feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. It was an amazing trip, and we were so grateful for the opportunity to explore the natural beauty of the Philippines. Overall, our trip to Samar was an amazing experience. We were able to explore some of the most beautiful places in the province, and we had a chance to see its rich culture and history. From the stunning views of Mount Labo to the relaxing beaches of Sohoton Cove, we had the opportunity to experience the natural beauty of Samar. We also got to meet some of the friendly locals who shared their culture and history with us. One of the highlights of our trip was our encounter with the spider monkey. It was amazing to see this rare animal in its natural habitat, and it was a reminder of the importance of preserving our natural resources. We also learned about the local culture and history through the friendly locals who we met along the way. They shared stories about their traditions and customs, and we were able to gain a deeper understanding of their way of life. Another highlight of our trip was the delicious food. Samar is known for its fresh seafood, and we were able to try some of the best dishes during our visit. From grilled tuna pie to kinalaw, we had a chance to sample a variety of local specialties that were full of flavor and made with fresh ingredients. The people of Samar were also a highlight of our trip. They were incredibly friendly and welcoming, and we felt like we were part of the community during our visit. They were always willing to help us and make sure that we had a comfortable stay. Overall, our trip to Samar was an amazing experience. We were able to explore some of the most beautiful places in the province, and we had a chance to see its rich culture and history. If you're looking for an off-the-beaten-path destination that offers stunning natural beauty and a glimpse into local culture, then I highly recommend visiting Samar. You won't be disappointed.